It's Vicki with Mindful Minute, and today's reading is May 15th, The Risk to Bloom. And then the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk to bloom. Anais Nin. We all face this turning point repeatedly, when resisting the flow of inner events suddenly feels more hurtful than leaping toward the unknown. Yet no one can tell us when to leap. There is no authority to bless our need to enter life but the God within. How often we thwart ourselves by holding tenaciously to what is familiar. It is instructive, if chilling, that in floral shops, the roses that won't open are called bullets. They are discarded because they will never bloom. They have turned in on themselves so tightly that they can never release their fragrance. Yet, as spirits in bodily form, we have the chance to tighten and bloom more than once. But even spirits, if turned in on themselves enough, may grow accustomed to being closed. Unlike roses, however, the human chamber can be shut down for years, and still, it takes but one breath from the true center, and we will flower. It has always amazed and humbled me how the risk to bloom can seem so insurmountable beforehand and so inevitably freeing once the threshold of suffering is crossed. I have a friend in recovery, and when asked what made him stop drinking, he says the pain of drinking became greater than the pain of not drinking. The same can be said for us all. We can flower in an instant, as soon as the pain of not flowering and not loving become greater than our fear. And the activities are: try to identify what scares you most about being who you are in the world. As you meditate, imagine the God in you warming your fears open. Note what it feels like to have your center safely exposed, even for a moment. Without telling anyone, imagine this moment of opening sometime during the day, at your desk, on the bus, in line at the supermarket. Note what it feels like to have your center safely exposed, even for a moment in the presence of others. Repeat this meditation whenever you start to feel your sense of things tighten. Well, that is probably a very hard meditation to do, and I'm definitely going to try it. And I've felt like this so many times. And the beautiful thing that I have discovered in my life is that I'd actually started to allow this. I still go back and forth, but it is really so true what is said here. It has always amazed and humbled me how the risk to bloom can seem so insurmountable beforehand. And then he says, and so inevitably freeing once the threshold of suffering is crossed. And it's extremely true. And most times when I'm afraid of doing something, showing who I am, speaking my truth, being my true self, silly, weird, whatever it is, I do it and I feel a million times better. And all that time that I spent wasting seems so silly and foolish. But we have to walk through it, and we have to get there. And I definitely like this exercise because it does come and go. It comes and goes, that ability to open. So thank you so much for being here. I have a workshop coming up. The link for the information, it's for the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and it is not a book study, but we'll be going over all the agreements. We did the first agreement last week. It will be taped, so if you'd like to do all 4 courses, all 4 classes, workshops, you can. And we have another one coming up this Saturday. So I hope you are well. I hope you check it out, VickiRude.com, and be kind to yourself and others. Namaste.